Farminguk 19 September 2017 084503 19 September 2017 084503 Crops and cereals. Market reports. News. Produced. The exports were worth more than £109 million, the highest export value on record. Vegetable exports hit a record high last year, according to figures released by the DEFRA, but were still dwarfed by the volume of imports into the UK. According to the Horticulture Statistics Report for 2016, exports were up 13% compared with the previous year. The exports were worth more than £109 million, according to the report's authors, the highest export value on record. Fruit exports also recorded a big increase, up by 17% to £116 million. This was the third consecutive increase by value. But both vegetable and fruit exports were still small in comparison to both the volume and value of produce imported into the UK. Vegetable imports amounted to £2.3 billion by value in 2016, an increase of 11% on 2015. Imports were up 5.1% by volume. Fruit imports recorded an even bigger increase. Fruit shipped to the UK was worth £3.6 billion in 2016, up 18% on the previous year. Volume was up by 4.4%. EU and South Africa, most of the big exporting countries to the UK, were members of the European Union, according to the report. A third of the vegetable imports, mainly tomatoes, lettuce, cauliflower and broccoli, and 21% of the fruit imports, citrus fruit, grapes, and strawberries, came from Spain. The Netherlands accounted for 25% of vegetable imports, mainly tomatoes and sweet peppers, and the Irish Republic accounted for 5.4% of vegetable imports, mainly mushrooms. The main non-exporting country mentioned in the report was South Africa. It accounted for 11% of fruit imports, mainly grapes, citrus fruit and apples. According to the report, home-produced vegetables were worth £1.3 billion in 2016, an increase of 7.5% on the previous year, although overall production fell by 5.2%. There was an increase in the value of field vegetables, up 12% from £883 million in 2015 to £900 million in 2016. The report's authors said at the start of 2016, conditions for growers were very good, and parts of the UK started drilling very early. However, the weather conditions changed and hampered the progress of planting and crop development of spring-established crops. The overall impact was a delayed start to the harvest of early crops and reduced head size for autumn and winter brassica. Cucumber production. Downfield vegetable production fell by 5.6% from 2.5 million tons to 2.3 million tons in 2016, with the area of vegetables falling by 5.8%. The value of protected vegetables fell by 3.5% from £365 million to £353 million. Good weather conditions in the early spring gave a boost to early production. But the cooler and duller weather conditions over the summer reduced production during peak periods of consumer demand, said the authors. Cucumber production continues to decline in the UK as growers are switching to other crops. The UK was 54% self-sufficient in vegetables in 2016, according to the figures. This was down by 4.6% on the previous year. Actual home production fell by 5.2% to 2.6 million tons, although the report's author said that, over the last 20 years, total production of vegetables had remained fairly constant between 2.5 and 3.0 million tons. Home production as a percentage of total supply of carrots and cabbages was over 90% in 2016, down slightly on 2015. Home production as a percentage of total supply of tomatoes was down by just over 0.5% compared with 2015 at 20%. Cold Spring home-produced fruit fell in value to £670 million from £695 million the previous year, a fall of 3.7% compared to 2015, although production remained constant. The decline in value followed 3 years of growth in both value and production for UK fruit growers. The fall in value was largely driven by price, with a fall in the value of soft fruit due to a later start to the soft fruit season and a fall in production when compared to 2015, said the authors. The cold spring led to later crop development and harvesting for all fruit. The cooler spring weather affected pear blossom more than apple blossom, that flowered in good weather in early May. The cooler, duller summer led even growing conditions for strawberries and raspberries, and the avoidance of oversupply in production. The area total for fresh fruit in 2016 remains similar to previous years at around 30,000 hectares. And glasshouse fruit rose in value by 2.7% in 2016 to £53 million, according to the figures. Download